I'm gonna continue working on my painting. Definitely seems to be having progress. I like how the dark shades are laying out. Still more details to be added, but it's I don't know that it's fine. Let me check. Oh, yeah, I can see it. Just notifications. Yeah, I think the sound is okay too. And yeah, all right. Oh, feel free to join, and I'm just gonna start setting up the whatever I need. Have it set up. Okay. Someone says, "Hi, Trenton. Good to see you here." Okay, I have plastic bag off everything. I'm not the cleanest artist, as I like to say. I'm definitely a little bit of a mess, but I think I'm practicing more and more of keeping the workspace cleaner and just clean up straight away after. And for that, I'm using wet wipes. Back in the gymnasium when I used to, where I used to go and study art, it's funny. We would have like the tissues, the fabrics, and we had oil, and we had I don't even know how it's called in English, but we would like use a car petrol or something to clean the clean the sponge, which cleans it very well. If you really want to clean your brushes, uh, like fundamentally, that's how you should do it. However, like now I have both wet napkins and dry napkins. Feel free to say hi, guys. I have chat open in my another phone, so feel free to ask me anything in the chat. Here. What else do we have here? The paints. That's pencil, but I used it for the group, so I don't use it. Okay, getting set gradually. Someone says, "Hi, young lady." Hello. Hope you're doing well. Okay, where did we stop last time? So I worked this entire side. It's a little bit reflecting. I'm gonna look at it from a different angle. It's quite dark. It's already quite alright. I'm gonna come back to it later on if I need to have to work this part and possibly just start working the mouse area. So yeah, let me just first slide. Yeah, thank you. Who's that? Solomon. Thank you for the first slide. All right, guys. What I'm gonna do? I'm having a reference in the same phone, so I'm gonna jump from the reference to the chat and basically just back and forth. So I can respond to questions, but also I can have keep working on the work. So let me just get the picture. I can show you the picture too. Go gallery. So this is the reference. This is the reference. It's quite an apt picture. As you can see, there's a lot of more like a black stains or something, whatever. It's definitely black. So I'll partially edit up, but I'll see how it goes because it's already looking good. So sometimes you don't want to ruin it. You know what I mean? You want to um, just to act accordingly, depending on how the process goes. But here, I'm gonna start from this part, though we can have more shading here. And I need to add some black. Just 1 second. Well, next time I'm just gonna print out the reference too because it's a little bit comfortable to jump from the chat to the reference picture. Let's see what's going on in the chat. There we go. Is it your artist pants? You always wear them when you're painting. My husband hates those pants, but for now, yeah, that's the reason I'm wearing them because those are more like it. I don't care if they get spoiled. So yeah, yesterday I wore something else, but yeah, now I'm wearing those just for that exact reason. However, I gotta say I'm being quite clean on this painting, so I don't know why, but I have not had any stains on my clothes. So I think Gage is an easy win for Ilya. I think so too. I think even for Arman. I mean, no disrespect to Gage, he's a legend, but he's also past his prime. He's like a dog, like he's like we all love Gage, and he's a tough motherfucker. He definitely schooled Patty. He definitely proved that Patty wasn't even near close to be top five in the rankings in the lightweight. So I think the justice um, was made. However, again, you have both Arman Turkey and Leah Tapura who are I think at the top of the division at this point. All right, so what I'm gonna do here, I have white, I have black, and that's all the colors I have, or tones, whatever you call it. So all of this was made with that. I have a little bit of, I have a gray paint too, but I just use it for the foundation, not more than that. Because you basically mix this two and you can create any shade of gray. And so here we're gonna go a little bit dark. More shading. So it's darker. Nice. There's a little curve in here, which is just natural. It comes out right from the nose. The nose area is not polished yet, anyways, so we're just gonna keep working around the face for now. This side of the face should be a little bit darker too. Okay, now I'm adding a little bit white, lighter. So I'm using grading technique that I've been talking before. It's a very good technique to create the texture, the imperfections on the surface. Like skin is not all smooth usually. Like it's quite grainy. Okay, so those are here. I will wear for weeks and weeks pants. Yeah, as I said, Chris hates those, but it kind of makes sense. You would want to wear something that you're not afraid to spoil. And I love those pants just because that's what they are. They're like a garbage bag. They're comfortable. Will be keeping. And yeah, basically. So yeah, playing with this graining technique is like you can do that forever, layer up to layer. But yeah, it's just a matter of whenever you find that sweet spot. Because yes, you can do it forever, but at the same time, you can lock yourself into that loop where you just like at some point it was very good, and you just because you decide to continue working on it, just ruin it all of a sudden. So that's what you don't want to do that. By the way, I'm looking at the chat, so feel free to ask the questions. I already looked at the reference approximately. I don't need it to be perfect. Um, Amazing guy. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna take a little look on the reference picture just to see. So this side is also darker. Kind of goes like a little cavity. So we'll see how that lays on. Because there's a little bit of reflection. I'm also gonna try to move it a little bit like this, a little angle shift, and all of a sudden it just can see better. And there's quite a sharp transition to whiter area, but it's still quite grainy, so you can kind of shut it down a little bit, like this. It's quite light. Something like this. Um, okay, but I'm not really touching that much of the nose. I'm not planning to do that. I'm gonna add some darker shades here as well, like here. This has to be, this definitely has to be darker. Let's try taking black. Okay. Okay. A little bit more gray. Take the transition. See, I'm going a little bit straightforward here. I'm gonna blend it in just in a second. So it's not gonna be that. Then you shouldn't be afraid to ruin your painting in this way. Because here, I'm gonna mix it one more time. I'm gonna start neutralizing it more, but then it's gonna be a visible shade. And that's whites literally and blend it in with the painting. Now look at the chat. So okay, let me look at it from the side. Okay, you see now it's getting more round because the light comes from the behind the sword. That is the lightest part. So everything else is gonna be more like darker. So we're gonna have to shade down the jawline as well. He's my favorite painter. Well, unlike boxing and mixed martial arts, I'm not really, I don't really know painters. I really don't. We've been taught about Da Vinci. Actually, I learned the Da Vinci portrait building technique, and well, you have Van Gogh and you have Claude Monet. It's impressionist, by the way, graining technique, but he would do very gentle, nice colors. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, Modigliani, cool movie though. But yeah, I'm more like very commonly I just look at art and like, okay, wow, cool. Very often I also see the modern art. I mean, not the modern art, the one that is just bullshit, but I'm talking about the people really brought the technique and the dimension effect to another level. So they're very like crazy artists, even in the social media. And well, I've been watching all their art and captivated by the art, and I don't even know. There's one girl whose name is Anastasia, so that in her, where you can see the name, and that's it. That's all I know. So okay, mine is an Andre, the guy. He was from Austria. Cannot say his name. Well, that's what I'm talking about. With artists, it's very common. You remember the name. Sorry, remember the art and the emotion that it brings to you. But when it comes to their name, you're like, what was the name, right? Uh, Let me just check. From fighting to painting, what happened? That literally is my life. That's how I live a day to day. I haven't been painting for a long time. I've been focusing more on training and also I'm singing and working as karaoke host and even performing in some places as a singer. And then I just miss something that's I miss painting. That's something I've been doing and I've been very good at since I was very young. So good for me. The materials, all of that I bought was so cheap, like a dirt cheap. So I bought it, I brought it home, and here I am. Now I'm creating art and I'm live streaming that as well. Okay, let me just look at the reference quickly. I just want to see. Okay, so this is here we go darker. This is gonna be lighter area. It still has to be a little bit darker here as well. We need to create some rounding effect in the jawline, so it's not too bright, too pushing. Bryce Mitchell. Okay, okay. My apologies. Um, yeah, I mean, if you search his name or remember his name, feel free to share it in the chat. Then. Well, that's Miguel, so you never know if it's a joke or not. Okay. Well, so basically now I'm not making it darker. I'm just taming it down a little bit. That is important. Here it's a very mild work. And in this case, it's okay to tame it down pretty much all of it, and then add up some lighter parts. So in this case, it can be vice versa. You go a little bit darker, then you can mix up whites, and it becomes lighter. Okay. Actually, I forgot about the the mixing liquid or whatever it's called. Wow, what a pain. I'll be honest. Don't take it as an arrogancy, but every time, I don't do it for let's say for entire year, and then I get back to it and I do it again. I'm becoming as impressed as you are, guys. I'm like, okay, that is actually not as bad. It's not too bad at all. But that's what thing you when you learn that skill. I believe when you get very good at it at some point, and then you have like a gap and you come back to it, it's so much easier to get back to it. I'm from Georgia, from Tbilisi, so the same country as Merab Dvalishvili, Furias, then other prominent Georgians like Lashit Talachadze, Levan Saginashvili, etc. Another thing, what we don't want to happen is that even if I'm taming it down, I don't want it to become like a one prominent spot. So that's why even if it's dark areas, unless it's like a really, really dark areas like the black, I have grains. So I'm gonna always mix up, and there are like hundreds different tones, and it kind of creates the pattern. But it also it doesn't make it like it doesn't create a dirty stain. It takes time to do it well. Well done. Uh, thank you, Byron. And well, it's also very relaxing. I think, well, unlike training where you really need to hit it, your body physically cannot get relaxed. It only after. Well, within painting, like it's just a flow state. It's just complete relaxation. So here we go. This has to be a little bit darker too. Then this area we're gonna start working on the right before working on the lips because that's, or maybe we work on the lips first and then um, define properly the upper lip area. There's like even a little line here, so sometimes you want to have again a wrinkle or some specific lines emphasized. So there's nothing wrong with making a line okay, very mildly, okay, and then continue with the breathing. If you look at it from far, here we go down. Then. Okay, what's going on in the chat? Okay, have you heard of painter named Manju Pai or Phai? I will suggest you to check his artwork. Okay, will do. Let's appreciate you guys. Let me check out the reference again. Okay, so here we have another curve. It kind of goes like literally like this. And yeah, I'm doing it. I'm taking that risk, but it's not really a risk. That can be. I can make that line disappear if I need to. Okay. And well, it's not exactly a line too. It has to be more like a deeper, like a freckle or the edge of the cheekbone, some sort of that kind of effect. This area is also a little bit darker. Okay. Those are triangles. It's very interesting. There's some Christian, mostly Vietnamese are Buddhists, but there's some Christians definitely as well. Okay, so what do we have here? Let me look at the chat again. I like the art. Great. Oh, careful. Water. Hi Dan, and now boxing today. Good day for painting. Well, I did the boxing already. You can check out the previous live stream. I already done some boxing, and now I'm doing painting basically. This looks a little bit like a Joker smile. So again, we rather have to tame down everything a little bit, like here, or we need to light it up. It depends what kind of effect we want to get generally. I think I'm gonna tame it down. 'Cause I think that jaw part is a little bit too light. I mean, this line has to be light, but everything else has to transit into the shape. Okay. Hi everyone. Even when it's the lightest part, you still need to do mild shadings to create the curve. Not as dark as the background, but like this. So now we're gonna have to wider, some whites here, more whites. I love graining effect and how it creates just yeah, basically the effect it leaves. Okay, my husband says, and I was thinking to mention it, but I'm gonna read it out loud. The issue now is the channel got hacked, and takes a few weeks for YouTube to see the channel is good, so less views and less push for 30 to 60 days. That's basically it. Frustrating, yes. Is it a reason to give up? No. So, and especially with some folks that are consistent and they show up for me and for us pretty much in every live stream. So we're gonna push through that a little bit harder period altogether. People who have painting as a side quest were remarkable figures in history. One that comes to my mind, great speaker and conqueror. Oh man, yeah, but there are others too. Must be it was Dana's dirty work. Of course it was. Okay, but I already like even in the video I like that it tames down a little bit, but gotta work through details even more. And details I mean just keep graining like this. I like that effect, so I'm gonna stick to it. Like it feels a painting, not just like a detailized painting. Always it up more words, so it's not no problem with that line. I can do that later too. Okay, let's see. Look at the chat. even Najm, uh, Phaai, I don't know how to pronounce that. Main quest was being a most wanted criminal. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, I gotta look it up. I bet there's some documentaries on YouTube. I think that documentaries is the fastest way to learn a basic background about the person. So yeah, I'm gonna try to look it up. Same here. I need to tame it down a little bit. So I need to smooth it out. Even though there is that, like here in the picture, in the reference, it's like quite prominent. It might not be very good on the painting, so I'm gonna neutralize it a little bit. I'm gonna add some white and just make it more not as prominent. So that's what I've been saying. Sometimes you just gotta improvise. Just just improvise. This okay? Already getting better. And it's like just a teeny tiny detail. Well, okay, let me just look at it from the side. Always get up, always look at your painting and say, I actually kind of like it. I will just, the eye area, this needs to be a little bit um, here. It needs to rather, just change the shape a little bit, rather add up a little bit lights here, or add some darks right there together. Or you can comment if you want. Okay. Again, so it doesn't become too flat in some other shades of the rain. Okay. I think this is okay. I'll leave it like this for now. You look like a baker. Yes, I know. I know. Trust me. People been telling me that all along. Okay. So what we're gonna do now? Lips. Interesting. I'm gonna start from the inner part and then gonna work this lighter part actually. So even though I have it quite prominent, it looks good, but it's very rough edges. And sometimes you have a painting style like that, which is completely fine. However, I want to keep it more natural, right? So we're gonna use that same grading technique, a little bit lighter. We're gonna target the lighter dark areas, and then to be able to transit it into literally the white highlights. And therefore it's still gonna look natural, you know what I mean? The upper lip is pretty much almost black. It's just a little, maybe the upper edge of it can be slightly lighter or maybe like a little bit smoothed out. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm just gonna play a little bit with it, no problem. So basically now main thing is I'm gonna use the mixer here and I'm gonna clean my brush as well. So I'm gonna take wet wipe, like this, okay, and let's just try to mix it up a little bit. It's a very careful movement. You still have to preserve that line and definition, but you see, already, yeah, it's already translated and it's easy when the paint is not dried fully, so it doesn't take that much to do it. Also correcting the lip, the upper lip shape as well. It's kind of important. Well, when I was saying the blacks and whites, whites also have like it might seem area might seem white, but it's white maybe only right there. Everything else is some sort of light shade of gray or something. So yeah, just important to note it out. Also, we want to smooth it, but we also want to keep the definition, the line between the lip and the skin above the lip. Okay, so just a little bit more on the sheet. Make sure that the shape is good. It goes darker here, by the way, so just don't let it fool you. Yeah, same old school green. That's what I'm gonna use now. And even though this is a dark area, still I add some grains slightly to certain point, like here. And I'm going to take dark sheets again and blend it in so it's doesn't light it up too much. Okay. Okay. Gonna clean it up again. Chat. The portrait looks like the red Sonia of a female version of the Night in a Battle Cry album poster. Okay, that's an interesting take. Someone else said that it looks like Troy, and some people didn't think they thought it was a male, and I like that. I like that it's a little bit uncertain, and uh, when I create a portrait like that, when you cannot see prominent male or female features, you can see that yeah, it's nice, beautiful lips and nice eyes, but so can some men can do have that too. So that is another trick. You try to make it the way, especially with the darker lines, and if the portrait itself is quite dark, it's easy to create that effect of perspective. Different people gonna perceive it differently. Okay, keep working on the lip. And what do we have here? Here, slightly needs to be tamed down as well. I went too dark, but that's okay. Clean it a little bit more. I'm actually going to take a white extra, a separate white for to apply white safely. I know I really try to. There's actually this part is even lighter. We have like literally yeah. You see, nice. All of a sudden, I just created a line, and it is more accurate to what we can get. Is it more lights, specific ones right here too? And again, smoothing me. Lines create help us to create the definition. Okay, so if there's the light is getting reflected one way or another, that's what the that kind of stuff helps us to with. A little bit curved here too, which is quite light, like this. It's not too light, but it's good to have like little bit definition. Well, and the thing is, this part, I'm gonna work now the lower nose line because that needs to be more defined. And here, what we want to do, we want to create. So now it's more just the shape of the nose. There's a little, there has to be a nostril really slightly visible, and like this. We need to define the nose shape so we can work on that upper lip shape. Not working on nose on itself. I'm just touching that section. So there you go. This is quite dark too. This side's gonna be get darker actually, so it's gonna be quite in the shade, in the shadow as well. Here, the darkest part is this. Now we're gonna start adding up some grays. So it's not too aggressive, especially in this one. It's lighter shadow, but it's still a shadow. It has to be gray here. And you see, I'm creating the curve. I can always smooth out certain spots, like here, for example. Smooth it out. It's no problem with that. Even with the clean brush. Then I have the curve. Okay. Here we already have it darker, so it's not going to be as prominent with this side. Okay, let me look at the chat quickly. So, enamel. What's the original color of your hair, black or blonde? Brown. It's an ash light or something, so that is a little bit weird color tone. It's not brown brown. You have like a brown that is it's brown. My hair can get very light on the sun naturally, so it's very common. If you see Slavic women having not the ones that are blonde, but they're ones that have that almost grayish brownish color. That's me. Well, yeah, the Chris mocks me that it's not blonde. Well, I understand he's like a platinum blonde before he got bald, like Norwegian, like Scandinavians are usually. Um, so I can understand what he means. But as an artist, I can tell you, it's not a brown, like generic brown color. Brown looks like red on sun. It depends which shade of brown too. They're very interesting color like kashtan. It's in Russian. It's not walnut, but it's some other type of nut. Uh, like in let's call it walnut brown. When on the sun, it can look reddish. So that's true. And both my colors are from my mom, who is Slavic. She's half Russian, half Ukrainian, and my father is Georgian. There's a little bit of Armenian blood. So yeah, basically, I'm a little bit of mix. Okay, what do we have here? We'll look at the reference again. But yeah, I already like that it's it's getting smoothed out here, but it's also not too aggressive. This one to take down. Yeah, like this is literally, it has to be gray here because so it shouldn't be as light as the other side, but it's definitely has to be light enough so it creates that border and difference between the lip itself and the what do you call it, the skin about the lip. Here we're also tinning down a little bit, like here it's interesting part where it's a little bit tricky. It's, in some parts it gets darker. Use graining technique for it to make sure that it works out. Okay, and some darker like black here. The black is still dominant in this case. The definition has to be maintained. Okay, I'll keep it like this for now. And what I'm going to start doing now is here we have a little lines like this. That's a very interesting way to do it. Like just a couple lines here and there. Obviously, gotta be careful with the lights. Use the finger a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Here. So this one time it wasn't raining. I just lined it up a little bit, and that helps to create extra effect. That it's a leaf tying into the skin. So that's how it would be. The texture is that's kind of how it works. And what we can do already with the upper lip, we can just make it dark. We can just take like this, the black, and define that darkest part, the border, and make sure that it blends in quite well here. Oh, let's thicker layer of the paint. It's kind of important. Creates a better depth. You don't want want to leave the areas where it's literally some empty, naked parts left. Okay, gonna look at it from the side, and I kind of like how it's turning out. The thing is, this part goes like this is going dark too, and it goes so dark, and the lower lip here, after we work on this one, this gonna get darker, all of it. Something like this. Um, and the lower lip is very interesting. I kind of have a little bit of lines here, but it's very how do you call it? Not prominent and not detailized. It takes some work, and it might take longer work than it seems like. First of all, we're just gonna put it in proper shape. Okay, we can look at the chat before I do that. What name are you going to keep for painting? That's a good question. I don't know yet. I'll ask. I'll make a call about it or something, and I'll ask you to help me. So now we're gonna make it like we're gonna put the tone lighter part here. Obviously, it's gonna be darker there. But you see the strokes here. I'm not using graining technique. Just for the leap effect, I'm gonna use strokes like this. And from the bottom as well. Especially from the top, but from the bottom as well, maybe a little bit darker shade. So Georgians, Armenians, Dagestanis, Azeris are all Caucasians. Yes, Armenians too. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the reference. Yeah, I'm gonna apply more of a neutral color right now because you can always go lighter if you need to. So to a little bit of the dissolving liquid. So it's just easier to apply those strokes like this. So the reason I'm moving my sponge like that is to create that roundiness and the fulliness of the leaf. So strokes matter too. You don't want to do any other way. I'm going quite lighter now, but that's okay because I'm gonna change that very soon. Just right now, it's just for the sake of creating that nice texture baseline. Okay, that's already okay. Now we're going quite dark. So let's start here. You see how I created that lining again? It's too mechanic right now, but when I start blending it in and making it more um, natural and stuff. So right now, I'm just making sure that this part is going to get darker. These shades here that can happen. Literally can. Here, even though it goes quite dark, we need to make a clear definition between that underleaf shadow and the darkest part of the leaf itself. But here it almost blends in, so here you can just blend it in like this and then see how it looks. But other than that, this part is actually quite dark too. So just make sure it's put right. Okay, back to the chat. You're saying only Caucasian beats the Caucasian. That's why Omar got beaten by Mirab. Uh, maybe Ilya has shot against Islam. Just maybe, yeah. Well, at the welterweight, that's harder. However, if it's against Islam, that's they don't have very big size disparity. So it is possible. Okay, but you see, this is getting more natural now. I even like how it looks, but those lines now they still look unnatural, and that's fine because it's just a texture. I'm gonna start blending it in, but I like the depth of the leaf and this side of the leaf. It's getting in the right state. Here, basically, shadows, more shadows, and just to keep it safe, I'm using green. You can always make it a little bit lighter in some spots if I need to. For now, I'll just keep it like this. And well, let's get back to the leaf again. So now let's thin it out. Those lines have to be a little bit thinner. So smooth it out. You can use it. You can use clean brush or just white brush. Nothing use that. Goes from the upper. This is quite dark too. That I'm gonna put more of the black here, like this. So just using the line. Even though it's black, I'm still using a little bit of the technique to emphasize that it's a leaf and that's what it has to be quite brown. And from the dark paint, literally trans like using more black on the border so that the border line is almost invisible, but it's still there. Yeah. We also have darker, like literal lines like this. So I don't have very thin brush for it, so I'm doing my best right now, but we'll be fine. More blending. And always said more neutral shades, like hold up, get it a little bit lighter. So like grays here, a little bit of gray, a little bit of gray, a little bit of gray, a little bit here, especially out there. Okay, and the last thing we're gonna do now, I always can get back to it. It's no problem. It doesn't have also to be perfectly round. You know, some lines go a little bit on the edge. This a little bit more pronounced shading here. And now we'll go into black here. And right there, we actually have underneath shadow. Coming up a little bit here again. We're gonna make this side lighter too. It's gonna be more prominent. Grace, gray, gray, and let me apply literally white, lighter. Because here we actually have a little bit. Okay. The coolest thing is now we can add up some. Okay, get a look at it from the side. Yeah, it's not bad. Just even out this curve a little bit. That's how I prefer it. And yeah, let's look back at the chat. What paints am I using? Those are oil paints. Just a black and white and gray paint as well. I haven't used much of the gray, so basically you can create all of it with just black and white. Oil paints are my favorite because they are the most. They can survive for centuries. If it's applied for canvas, that thing can live way beyond your lifespan, and it really does not it's not getting damaged that soon as compared to other paints. So yeah, at this point, the oil paints are the most I would say my favorites. Lips are okay. I mean, maybe I'll get back to it, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. We shall see. Definitely, nose needs some work to be done. So I think I still have time. I'm thinking to at least do a little bit of the nose job. How do you hide my wings under the top? I have them in my closet. Closet. You're talented. Keep up the great work. Do you sell your work? Appreciate it, Alfonso. Um, yes, I do. Technically, I think every artist pretty much does. Right now, I'm getting back into the groove of it, and I'm very happy to be able to paint again. However, once this painting is done, it's gonna be available for sale. Why not? I mean, right now we're not even living at this one spot. Like for example, when you have a house, like a big house and yard, and you have a little artwork, you might keep some of it for yourself. But as an artist, I think it's great that you want to spread your art. You want different people to have it. So it's like a piece of you, a piece of your creation. So yeah, it's definitely going to be available for sale, and we're trying to set up everything that is needed for it, a website or the YouTube shop or whatever we're going to be able to come up with. And I'll definitely let you know, guys, if this specific painting or any other following painting is going to be available for sale. You're going to be able to purchase it if you want to. That looks like you. Great work. Every warrior, female warrior looks like me. I mean, I've been told. But yeah, maybe it's also very dark features, so it's hard to say. Um, you know what? I'll just agree. Thank you. Like the cool thing about the gray is it's stone, but is the warrior in the painting, or where did your inspo come from? Was this flow or any idea in mind? Paint color gray. Well, the gray was just for the foundation. Then everything is it's a mix of black and white. I haven't used a single gray apart from um, I mean gray as a paint. I haven't used it apart from the foundation. So this is just a blend of black and white, and that's the graphics. This is pure graphics, just with the oil paint. And this is the reference. Let me show you. I just found that picture on Pinterest, and it just inspired me. And I just decided to make that as my first painting in quite some time. No, it's all good. It's all good, guys. Okay. Well, as I said, I'm gonna try to work on the nose area, and after that, I mean, it's gonna be pretty much. Actually, I feel like this way. Okay, so notes. That is an important part. We want it to be, even though it's quite light on this side, it's still not perfectly white. So I'm just gonna apply some darker spots like this. I'm gonna blend in. I have some here like this. And I like doing that more and more with like, yes, I'm using like a dot technique, and I'll do it the same effect there too. But right now I'm just painting like a little blueprint for myself to see where the shadows are and stuff. Okay. It's also bordering with the helmet area. You see here, there is no white, nothing. This is just a pure canva. So in this part, I left it specifically so I could apply white when I start working on the helmet. But even now, we're gonna try to distinguish it well enough so it's easier to, yeah. So it's more this to separate it. It's not the darkest shade, so here we're gonna add some grays. That's for sure. Like this part is not the darkest. It's actually not dark. This shade will be darker than the helmet, but it's still a shadow. And this side obviously it's gonna be darker than the other side. I think the darkest part is actually the bottom, except this little light on the tip of the nose. We literally have it like this, and then just coming up, immediately blending it in a little bit. It's a green technique, so it's not doesn't get too dark. Okay. This part is gonna be lighter generally, but right now we're just blending it. There we have like the lightest part. Don't want to overkill it too much. But at the same time, we need to make sure that it's not flat. The bottom, a little bit here. This is the lightest part, and we gotta have to fix this. We gotta have to make sure that it's applied correctly. And well, here we go. There it is. Here we also also need to make sure that the nose, the teeth is well done. Something like this. So the stroke directions matter in this case. Now we have a little light, quite a light line under there. Something like this. spots, but it doesn't have to be too dark. The wing was worked. And here we need to add some more layers of the paint usually. It's a little too dark, because the darkest area is still behind there. So to apply more paint to make those layers. Okay. Napkins. I'll get back into to the chat in a bit. Just gotta have to even this one. Okay. Here also bringing technique is great, but we want to make sure that direction, the strokes go correctly. So because the nose is round, we can just do this. So we just go turning it. Okay, let me look at it quickly from the side. Let's widen this a little bit so the line's gonna come up like this. Okay. Okay, let's look at it. And then let's just make this good shape for this line comes. And I think that is exactly. Okay, let me look at the chat, guys. I actually got carried away a little bit. Let me see what do we have here. Did you go to art school? Yes, I did. It was like a part-time school from the public school. What it was called? It was Sairme Art and Music Gymnasium. So you wouldn't get the middle and high school education, but there it was very specified on the art and music. And I went to the art direction, and basically, yeah, that's where I learned the academical painting, because everyone can paint, but there are rules, same as martial arts. You know, you gotta go through basics first to than being able to build something called your personal style and being able to distort and even break those rules, right? So that's how the art works as well. Beautiful artwork. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, let me show it to you from a little bit closer. Yeah, I think it's actually good. Like now the nose and the lip is like it has that effect, especially from the back there. It looks quite realistic. But then closer, you can see it's the graining, it's the that specific artwork. You can see the um, strokes or whatever you call. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna wrap it up now. Let me just say bye to you guys. Thank you very much. Today I did boxing training and then painting, and well, I'm gonna keep diversifying like this, a little bit of all of it, and we shall see what's gonna happen in the future. All right, thank you very much for being here and supporting us. Have a good day and good night, depending where you're from, and I see you. I see you next. Yeah. Bye.